Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. How are you doing today? Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, and it is Wednesday morning. And we have the one and only Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing. This is a conversation I've been waiting to have. We've been talking a lot about mortgage rates, owner occs, refis, all of that. But this conversation is going to be about just how amazing investor loans are. Now, obviously, we're talking about investors who have less than 10 properties, right? 10 FHA loans. So with that caveat, I'm curious, what do rates look like today? Maybe 20, 25% down. What do you got?
Sure. I'll pull that up. And like you said, if you qualify for conventional financing and you have less than 10 properties, these conventional investor rates are amazing. The cool part is earlier this year, we all were a little bit scared. Yeah. When they pulled back the reins and they said, hold on, we don't want more than, what was it?
7%.
7%. And some lenders freaked out, started charging extra for investor loans. Some lenders, bumped their rates up by 0.5%. And really, I think that's been throttled back. They've all realized, like, okay, we still want to compete. We still want these investor loans. Maybe we've got to put a few little loan level price adjustments in there. But really, when I look at it, like, investor rates are amazing. And I'll give you pricing for a single family investment property. And, I did $250,000 purchase price. Okay. Some areas are higher, some areas are lower, but if you put down 25% and you've got good credit, you're going to be able to get a 3.45% interest rate without paying any points.
And say that again. You're getting under 3.5, no points, 30-year fixed.
Exactly. Right. 30-year fixed money. Right. And so, that's pretty good.
That's insane.
And I started with 25% because me and you did an exercise, but I've also just in my business talked to investor after investor after investor. When you see the difference between 25% down and 20% down pricing wise, investors, if they have that 5%, realize it's a lot better than just 20% down. You can buy a single family of 20% down, but that same exact scenario, 250,000, now you're putting 20% down. So it's, 50 grand versus, what is it? Like
62.5. Yeah. 60.
Right. So that, 12,500 extra is going to get you those great terms. If you put down 20%, the rate is 3.625, which is still great, except for that you're going to pay a point for that 3.625. And, you probably could go get something that's no points, that's 3.875. This specific lender I'm pricing, who I send a lot of my investment stuff to, caps their rate sheet at 3.625. So with them, you're kind of forced to, pay that point. If you want that.
I just want to make sure I understand this for the average person out there, right? So I can come in with 25K, which on a $250,000 purchase is $62,500, no points. If I want to come with 20%, I'm going to come in with 50K down, but I have to pay $2,500, which is the point, correct?
What? Yeah, it would be based on the purchase price. So it would be like $2,000 on that $200,000 loan. So I'm sorry, based on the loan amount is what I meant.
Yeah, not the purchase. Okay.
Yeah,
on the loan amount.
Yeah.
So again, so you come in with an extra 12.5 on one, or basically you only save 10 grand by putting 5% less because you have that point.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And so, you look at those side by side, the principal and interest on
what's the payment on that? I'm just curious.
The 25% down. Yeah. The principal and interest is $837.
Oh my God.
And the 20% down at 3,625 is $912. So, that extra 10 grand,
right?
Because we figured out it's 12.5 difference in down payment, but it's also $2,000 more in cost. What's that? 763 plus 12. Oh, $75.
Yep.
$75 a month. So, on that size purchase, $75 a month is probably, a decent amount of the cash flow.
So $75 a month times 12 is $900. And in my course, I talk about yield all the time. So let's figure out what that is. I think that's going to be 9%, but let's see. 900 divided by 10 grand. Yeah, it's 9%. So you're making 9% on your money, putting the extra 5% down, which in most markets is not bad. So you would put the 5% down.
Right.
That's pretty cool. So again, investor loans. And again, in theory, that could have been a fourplex investment loan. We did a single, like, does it change if it's a fourplex? I have no idea.
Yeah, it definitely
Okay.
does.
Let's do a
And
fourplex
yeah, let's do
or multifamily.
4 units.
There you go. Let's do like 600 grand for a fourplex.
You'll be dealing with some subpar properties if you're finding something. Well, at least in California, if you're finding something for 250 for a fourplex.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's burned.
Yeah. All right. 600 grand, 25% down, 4 unit. Now we're at that 3.625 and it's about a half a point cost.
Okay. So again, this is mind boggling to me. So I am by a fourplex residential loan, 30-year fixed, call it half a point, 25% down. So what's that? 150 grand. I'm getting 30-year money at 3.625. That's insane.
Pretty dang good. Yeah,
Now,
I'm with you. I want as much of this debt as possible.
Yeah, I mean, especially if inflation's 5%. I mean, Jesus Christ. Wow. So folks, again, now, if we have real estate investors and they own a fourplex and they wanted to refi, what are refi rates?
They're pretty close. And the thing about a lot of refinances I'm looking at is with the appreciation we've seen, you might be in an even better equity position.
Oh, for sure.
And
my God.
And for lenders, like 60% is that magic number where they just love them some.
Well, let's do that. Let's do a 600K with 40% down. And again, this is going to be, or actually do a refi.
You know, it's funny. I just did the refinance rate and term on the fourplex with those same parameters, the 25%.
Okay.
And it's actually the same exact pricing, that 3.625, which sometimes you get better pricing on purchase than you do on refi.
Usually you do, in my experience, but
yeah. And actually, when you go to 60, it doesn't even get that much better. So maybe the hits are just, the hits are under 75 and 3 to 4 unit. So yeah, 3.625, even at the lower LTVs, about a quarter point cost. So it gets a little bit better, but
gotcha.
But yeah, you're essentially for a half a point or less getting 3.625 30-year fixed rate money.
I've had enough of this. If you have an investment property in California and you qualify for these loans, send them your mortgage statement, see what it could do. Again, you don't have to take cash out. If your goal is to pay off the fourplex, look at how many years you could shave off with rates. If you want to get cash out because you think a crash is coming, might as well do it now and put the money in the bank. This is the time. We've got a little window, I think, before they figure out inflation is stickier, which is now an opinion I have, which I didn't have 30 days ago. So folks, how do you want people to reach out, Matt? Because you should get a lot of emails, I think.
Sure. Just to piggyback on yours too, I've had a lot of conversations with people where, you don't have to leverage yourself up and get in a position where you feel uncomfortable. Yeah, but I'm talking to people that own multi-units that are like, okay, now it's worth 1.7. I owe 352. Right. And pull.
Yeah, that's dead equity right there.
Grand out. And this is where the conversation leads. I don't feel any like great risk for you going to 50% loan to value. And the thing that I had a cool conversation with a client yesterday in that scenario, the thing's appreciated a ton. It's 1.7. He's been in the loan long enough where he says, if I pull out 500,000, my payment stays the same because I've been in this loan for so long and the rate is coming down. So I know my cash flow. I've owned this thing for 15 years. My cash flow is going to remain the same. Now it's just $500,000 to go deploy and do something that's going to create a return.
Or to wait, or you could just, I mean, there's some people out there like take the 500 grand, sit on it for 2 years.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And have it just being ready on the sideline.
And I know you're not an accountant and I only play one on YouTube. How much of that 500 grand is taxable?
Absolutely 0%. And that's the thing too, is I'm generally like consult your CPA, but I can tell you with absolute certainty, I know that rule that you're not going to be reassessed. Your property values don't get reassessed when you refinance. You don't pay taxes on the money you pull out. And, talk about the beautiful things about real estate investing. Yeah. Like, you have a property that appreciates and it gets paid down and then you're like, oh, let me pull 100 grand here. I got something I want to do with that. Or let me pull 150 there. Like that's a cool game to play.
Yeah. And again, loans are not taxable. Man.
Right.
You don't need to check with the CPA. Loans not tax. See Jeff Bezos. He borrows against his Amazon stock and pays no taxes. Same deal here.
Yeah, I know that one for sure. So if you're in California, you want me to review anything, I'm happy to help. Just send me an email, matt@mattthemortgageguy.com.
I can't believe
outside of California.
Investor loans under 4%. I want to hit my head on the table.
Well, it's great. And what I think it's causing, this scenario we just talked about, where you pull cash out and you're on the sidelines, you're like, I'm waiting for opportunity. I've got $500,000. There has to be just 1 million people like that, Mike, because I've personally dealt with 100 of them where we've had good conversations. Yeah, I've got this place free and clear. It's worth 1.5. Let's do a loan to 822,000, the conforming loan limit in that county you live in. Okay. And the conversation is, I've got 400 in liquid, but why not have 1.2?
Exactly.
Be ready. I'll be ready. If there's deals to be had, whether it's residential, commercial, no matter where it is, I'm going to be ready. And when the money's so cheap, you don't feel bad about sitting on it.
No, exactly. Well, very cool. One more time. How do you want them to email you?
Matt@mattthemortgageguy.com. The more information you send, the better I can advise. But if you want to send 2 lines just to get the conversation started, just to see if it's even worth digging into, just send that email to matt@mattthemortgageguy.com. My team will respond to you as quick as possible and let you know we've received this. We aim to get back with you within 24 hours. If you're outside of California, greatmortgagebroker.com. Fill out that quick form. It's going to connect you with somebody who's in your state.
And do me a favor, folks, if in the email you send, just tell me you heard him here 1 rental at a time. We're just trying to check if this is a good use of his time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're talking to plenty 1 rental at a time folks, and
awesome.
and I gotta keep I want to
make
good
sure
reputation.
That's right. I want to make sure the 30 minutes of your time is worthwhile. So thank you very much. We got one more topic.